beer.
Drew, I'm gonna hold your whiskey too.
Thanks, just put it to my mouth whenever I ask you for it. Whenever I say and drink beer, just give me a
Everybody does a shot when he says drink beer.
This isn't gonna get any better from here. Might as well just
Yeah.
keep going. Right.
Okay.
This is probably how it already started.
If you don't start it this way, you're doing it wrong.
Here's yeah. Okay, here's the thing. You've turned into this. You've turned into this channel for some reason. I don't know why.
To
I
drink
don't know
beer.
why.
To drink beer and whiskey.
Drink beer and whiskey. I'm guessing that's a good thing. You're not.
Good
You're,
man.
with,
I'm drinking whiskey.
I know Ports has his Tourette's thing going on here. So what we want you to do, what we want you to do is to subscribe. Subscribe
No, the other way.
to Beer to Whiskey.
And drink
The
beer.
other way.
And drink beer. We like to drink beer. So
This is what I was told to do.
here's the deal. Here's the deal. We left this up to Big John. Big John is our PhD at craft beer. Obviously, he knows more about craft beer than he does making a sign.
I'm not sure that's true.
But this is subscribe
Clearly.
now. So that's really what we want you to do. And if every time you log on to Beer to Whiskey, if you don't want to have to watch this silliness again, you got to subscribe
And drink beer.
and drink beer. That's a good thing too. We drink whiskey. We drink beer. We talk about whiskey.
We throw things.
We throw things and it's
Drink beer.
and so.
Place on that one.
Ports, say a little bit about brewery visits.
Oh, yeah, brewery visits. Well, you're coming to Dayton, Ohio sometime in April. We're going to do the tour of Dayton, Ohio's got the most breweries per capita of any city in America.
Yeah.
Per capita, not
Right.
so. We're going to do that, and but yeah,
We sit down with brewers, we talk to them about the brewery, about their beer, about how they got started.
The name is actually interesting. So I do a lot of hiking and backpacking. I go to Colorado several times a year. And there's a trip I do with my buddies in Colorado. We do this Conundrum Hot Springs trip. 102-degree water, it's a 20-mile hike, it's brutal. So we're up there, we're sitting in this 102-degree water. It's a clothing optional, super hippie, hangout kind of a vibe. And this one guy, one of my friend's buddies, comes running down the hill. He throws his shorts in the air and he says, "Adios pantalones," and he jumps in the hot springs. And instantly I'm like, it's a beer.
Yeah,
Because
it is a great
that
beer name.
moment, I wanted to capture that moment of sitting in the mountains at 12,000 feet, hanging out with my buddies in 102-degree water with snow falling around us, and someone throwing their pants in the air. Nobody cared about work, school, what was going on back home, car payments, nothing. It was just have fun and enjoy the moment.
We go to distilleries, do the same thing with the distillers and the owners. I know there's some deep history here. Why don't you give that to us?
Well, this is the former Old Crow Distillery, I guess we'd have to say, because Jim Beam bought this in 1987 and it was already shut down production-wise, and so they moved production of the Old Crow product over to Claremont, their facility, but they maintained some of the aging warehouses that were part of the Old Crow Distillery. So I tell people I own the Old Crow Distillery building, but they own the Old Crow sign and the name.
Big John, talk a little bit about Big John at 5.
We drink beer and talk about it, and it's fun.
Do we have to drink because you said drink beer? Okay.
Right. This is the drink beer part. But yeah, no, little snippets of time where we pick a beer and sit down and talk about it, pick it apart, and talk about the brewery and sometimes the business, and it's usually terrible.
Yeah.
You drink a Ballast Point Sea Monster Imperial Stout, which is built to be a hammer. It's a big 10%er, but it's also an oatmeal stout, so you get a lot of that more residual sweetness. The unfermentable sugars that are in there creates a lot of body and a lot of sweetness, so it's not super aggressive. It's got a big coffee roast. It's got a lot of dark chocolate going on there. If you want something that really tastes like cocoa.
I'm getting a little fruit too. Should
And
I
there's a
get
little bit-
like black cherry.
Absolutely.
Time.
Beer,
time.
Beer 101. You get some good information on
That's when we teach
aspects.
people how to taste what
Yep.
we're doing with our whiskeys.
And we
And drink beer.
Beer and drink
There we
beer.
go.
The big difference is ale yeast ferments a lot more quickly at warmer temperatures on top of the beer as it's fermenting. So if you're ever watching it in a brewery, you'll see this kind of pancake batter stuff floating on top of the beer, and that's actually the yeast that's gotten tired and decided it doesn't want any more sugar. And
It's full.
It's full. It's done. That's it. We're out. Time to go home, get a taxi, get an Uber. Lager yeast is called bottom fermenting yeast because once it's tired, it sinks to the bottom.
So, having said that, we would love for you to subscribe. There's a new video every Thursday at noon East Coast time. And
That's a good position.
to all my brothers, Texas
Cheers.
Miss Lily,
Right.
should we drink beer?